Hi everyone, for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite eyeshadows from NARS, and it is the Cordura Duo eyeshadow, which are these two colors that you see here, and one is the Bengali single eyeshadow color that you can see here. Now, before we get into the demo and talking about the specifics of each of the eyeshadow products, this is actually my custom palette from NARS. I bought this a long time ago, and it's actually a magnetic palette wherein you can stick in a multiple number of eyeshadows as long as they're made of metal. I do have to say though is that I found out recently that this is no longer available on the stores here in the Philippines, and I'm not so sure if it's still available elsewhere in the world, but I do love this because it enables me to create my own palette. And the main reason why I enjoyed using this and I bought this is because I didn't like the packaging from NARS, because their packaging is quite rubbery, and I have noticed here in the Philippines, like over time the packaging gets to become very sticky and they become uncomfortable and they stick on each other actually. So that's the main reason why I actually bought this, because there was also a time that NARS was selling refills of their products, and I really like that because as a makeup artist I prefer to have multiple number of my favorite eyeshadow products in one pan, so that if I go to work I don't have to keep on opening and looking for a specific palette or a single eyeshadow product that I want to use. But the main reason why I'm doing this video is because during the pandemic I got wind that NARS actually repackaged some of their existing product lines, and they also made some of their products smaller, and I wanted to know if this was true. So when we were allowed to go out now and some of the stores were already finally opened, I went to the NARS boutique at Rusan's department store, and I did ask if this was true, and they said yes, they did repackage some of their products. And unfortunately the Cordura Duo eyeshadow and the Bengali single eyeshadow that I'm going to be talking about is still not available here in the Philippines. So I actually put off filming this video because I wanted to show you guys the new packaging and also to talk about it. But that was months ago. So last night I actually went to the NARS boutique in Greenbelt, and I asked them if they already had the Cordura and Bengali in their new packaging, but unfortunately they still didn't have it. So my impatience got to me, and I decided that I should just make this video anyways. So by the time that the new packaging will arrive in stores, maybe you will already have an idea of how the Cordura eyeshadows and the Bengali eyeshadows look like. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why I love these eyeshadows from NARS, and I'm going to be doing a demo so that you guys can see how I use them. Okay, so these two eyeshadows that I am pointing at right now is actually the Cordura Duo eyeshadow from NARS. Now, as you can see here, this color is actually a very nice sooty brown. As you can see here, it's quite neutral. And if you look close enough, there are actually some gold flecks found in it. Now, the next color that we have is this color here. And it actually has a very nice, like, taupey golden color that works really well with the initial sooty eyeshadow that I swatched earlier. Both of these eyeshadows actually have gold flecks in it, so I like using these two eyeshadows when I want to create a very nice smoky eye look in the eyes without actually using black eyeshadow. And then the other color is a single eyeshadow color from NARS, and this is the Bengali color. And if we swatch it here, it's actually a very nice matte, rich, warm, chocolatey brown that is very good to use when you just want to enhance the eye or to deepen it without using black. Now, the reason why I like using these three colors is because they really work well together. These three eyeshadow colors have been my go-to eyeshadow colors for years now. The main reason is because they're very neutral. And even if these two eyeshadow colors have golden flecks in it and it has some shimmer in it, it's actually quite matte to a certain degree. So I'm also able to use them for work on film or TV. Now this chocolatey brown Bengali eyeshadow here is also one of my go-to eyeshadow colors because it just helps me to enhance the eyes without actually overdoing them. And the other thing, I also use these three eyeshadows when I am with a client, and when I ask her what type of eyeshadow look she wants to try or she's going for, she goes like, oh, I want to have a nice smoky eye look. And then I would ask her like, have you ever worn a smoky eye before? And they would say, no, I haven't, so I want to try it. So I actually use these three colors a lot because it's not going to be a very stark difference. Because sometimes I have noticed that if a person hasn't worn a smoky eye look ever and you decide to use a full-on black eyeshadow or like gray eyeshadows or very strong colors, it's a shock to their system. So using these three colors actually kind of cushions the blow in changing the eye makeup look of a person. Now, when I'm using these eyeshadows, I always start with a primer. So the main reason why I do so is because these eyeshadows actually have golden flecks in it. So it's actually a little bit prone to falling down into the lower part of your eyelids. So it's always best to use an eye base so that the eyeshadows have something to cling on. And I actually prefer to use this eyeshadow base from NARS because it actually dries clear and it doesn't have any tint to it. So when you put on the eyeshadows on the eyelids, it's actually a much more truer color. Because sometimes I've noticed that if I use tinted eyeshadow bases, it kind of changes the color and the consistency of the eyeshadows. Okay, so for this eye look that I'm going to do, it's just like a very nice smoky, sooty brown eyeshadow look. And I'm going to start with the Bengali color. So this is a nice matte, rich, chocolatey, warm brown. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I would prefer to add some warmth to the skin and build the darker shades as I go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line the upper lash line with a brown eyeshadow, just so we have that initial depth that we need on the lash line. Now the reason why I'm putting on the matte colors first is because sometimes when I put on shimmer eyeshadow first and then I add on the matte, it makes it very difficult for the matte eyeshadows to come out. So by packing on the matte eyeshadows first, you kind of create the base and the detail that you need before the shimmer comes on and diffuses everything. So I'm just adding some of that brown eyeshadow at the outer portion of the eye and blending it inward. Okay, let's just soften up the edges and just blend everything. Blend, blend, blend. Okay, next I'm gonna be using my Hakuhodo S142 brush, and this is made of squirrel, so it doesn't pick up a ton of pigment. And I'm gonna add the brown color on my socket line here. And I'm just going to blend everything. Again, blending is the key. Okay, so with the flat liner brush here, I'm just going to extend it and connect it into my socket line, just so it creates that nice lift that my eyes need. Okay, and I'm gonna lightly blend that into my socket line, and I'm just gonna blend it well into my brow bone area. Okay, so as you can see that there's a lift going on already, and then I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna get a nice clean blending brush, and I'm just going to buff everything and just blend it. Okay, now I have the initial shape that I want. I'm going to go back to the palette and I'm going to pick up the nice golden bronzy eyeshadow from the Cordura palette, and I'm going to apply that gently and generously on my eyelid. So now what happens is that the golden shimmers from this light eyeshadow color from the Cordura Duo eyeshadow palette, it actually blends now into the matte chocolatey colors of the Bengali eyeshadow. Okay, next with my Sonia G Pencil 1 brush, I'm gonna go and pick up some of that nice bronzy golden eyeshadow, and I'm just going to blend it on the lower lashes. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to enhance the socket line and also the lash line, and I'm going to be using the dark color here from the Cordura palette. Now I'm going to be using this brush from Sonia G. I forgot the name. It's actually called the Crease 2, sorry. And I'm just going to remove some of the excess, and I'm just going to slowly apply it and blend it onto my crease here, and trying to bring the color well into the eyelid just to make it look diffused. Wow, I love that. So as you can see here, it's finally enhancing the eye and making it sootier and smokier. Okay, I'm gonna enhance the outer V portion now, just to add depth in the outer corner of the eye, and just to connect all of the colors. It's very important. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just enhancing the lash line with the dark color from the Cordura eyeshadow duo. Now the reason why I'm using a tapping motion is because I've noticed that if you do like a sweeping motion, you will disturb the eyeshadow and you'd see a lot of the golden flecks falling into the lower part of your eyes. Okay, I'm also gonna add some of that dark eyeshadow in my lower lash line. Okay, I'm going back with a clean brush and I'm just blending everything to make sure that they're well diffused together. Okay, next I'm just going to be adding some mascara just to complete the look. I'm concentrating the mascara at the outer lashes and lifting them up so that I have that nice lift. And then it's going to add some on the lower lash line just to enhance everything and just to complete the look. Okay, so this is it. As you can see, this is how my eye looks like with the 3 eyeshadow colors, and this is how my eye looks like without eyeshadow. So it's quite a very nice smoky eye look without being overly done, because I'm not using any black eyeshadow at all. And you can also use these 3 eyeshadow colors if you want to bring your eye makeup look from day to night. For day, you can use like the lightest colors like the Bengali and the light golden brown color with some flecks, and then in the evening when you're going out, you can just add some of the darker shade from the Cordura palette and just enhance your eye makeup to make it a much more smokier look. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how I actually create a nice sooty golden brown eyeshadow look by using these 2 eyeshadow products from NARS, Bengali and Cordura. Well, it's 3 colors actually. So as you can see that if you just blend everything together and if you mix them well, you don't actually have to use a ton of colors to create a nice smoky or enhanced eyeshadow look. Now, if you have any more questions about the products that I used today, please leave them down at the comments box below and let's have a conversation about this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye-bye.